What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing how to use the TTM Squeeze as well as the additional indicators that come with the Pro package. But before we can hop into the video real quick, what I need you guys to do is make sure to click that like and that subscribe button as well as clicking that bell icon. It would mean the absolute world to me. But without further ado, let's hop into the video. So like I said, we will be discussing the TTM Squeeze Pro. So if you guys do want to purchase the TTM Squeeze Pro, I'm going to leave my affiliate link down in the description. This is probably one of the most accurate trading indicators that you can use in your trading strategy, and I'm going to show you guys how to use it. So first, let's start off with the basic TTM Squeeze Pro, which is going to be this indicator right down here. So as we can see on the TTM Squeeze Pro, there are 4 different colored bars. We have light blue, dark blue, red, and we have yellow. The light blue is basically saying that there is very strong buying momentum, and as we can see on Fast, what happened when that light blue momentum came to the TTM Squeeze Pro? Well, Fast ended up going up in price. So light blue always means strong buying momentum. Now also you can see the height of the bar did get bigger over time. As the bars get bigger, this means that the momentum is increasing. Therefore you have increasing buying momentum. Again, look at Fast and see how it reacted. So remember, light blue is strong buying momentum. Now dark blue, this is saying that the buying momentum is basically dying down. People are beginning to take their profits. So what do we notice most of the time when we get the dark blue on the TTM Squeeze? The stock either consolidates like it did here, or it starts to pull back to the downside. So anytime you start to see the dark blue on the TTM Squeeze, this is basically telling you, okay, you should start taking your profits, move your stop loss up, because it's more than likely going to consolidate or end up pulling back against you. So remember, dark blue is going to be that the momentum's dying down. What can we see happening with the TTM Squeeze Pro as that dark blue comes in? Well, the bars start to shrink, therefore telling you that that momentum is dying down. Now, on the flip side, you also have red. So the red is basically telling you that the stock is experiencing very strong selling momentum. So if we look at the red momentum on Facebook very recently, we can see that the red momentum, again, showing us very strong selling momentum, is increasing with the bars. Therefore, the selling momentum is picking up. What can we see happening with Facebook? Well, Facebook is continuing to drop in price this entire time. So remember, when you see the red, that means strong selling momentum. As the bars are getting bigger, the selling momentum is picking up. Now, finally, you have the yellow. So the yellow is basically saying that the selling momentum is dying down. The buyers are coming back into the market. And again, as we can see right here, as the yellow bars start to shrink, that selling momentum is dying down and the buyers are now starting to show a presence. So as those yellow bars shrink, it's more than likely going to go into the light blue, especially if it's above the moving averages and you start to get the yellow. That is the best case scenario that I have seen. And as we can see here, yellow turns into light blue and Facebook continues going up in price. So again, light blue, very strong buy momentum. Pay attention to how the bars increase as well. Dark blue, buy momentum is dying down. It's more than likely going to consolidate or it's going to pull back to the downside. Red, strong selling momentum. As the bars again increase to the downside, that selling momentum is picking up. And then you have yellow, which is saying that the selling momentum is dying down and buyers are coming back into the market. So now also with the TTM Squeeze Pro, as you guys can see here, we got the red dots, the black dots, green dots, and occasionally you will see an orange dot, which is very, very rare. And when you see the orange dot, you better pay attention. So basically what the orange dots and red dots are saying is the stock is currently in a squeeze. So imagine a squeeze, you're blowing air into a plastic bag and you're twisting up that bag. Eventually it's going to pop. So if we're looking at Facebook over here and it's in the red dots, well, this is saying that Facebook is in a squeeze. When a stock is squeezing, the price tends to be very consolidated. As we can see Facebook right here, well, it eventually went into the orange dots, which when you see the orange dots, that's basically saying a big move is going to be made soon. So pay attention to it. So if we're looking at Facebook orange dots, well, what happened once Facebook went into the yellow momentum? Orange dots then turn red, red turned into black, and black turned into green. So when you see the black dots, this is basically saying that the squeeze is now opening up, therefore the stock can move a little more freely. And then when you see the green, this is saying that the squeeze has officially fired. So what do we notice on Facebook? Well, it made a huge increase in price ever since it went orange to red, red to black, and black to green. So if you're able to piece together the color of the dot as well as the color of the momentum, you will have a very well understanding on which way the squeeze is going to fire. So if we look at Apple on the 4-hour time frame, I told everybody in the server to watch Apple for calls for a day trade over this 150.18, and then all these other levels were price targets. Well, if we look down at the TTM Squeeze Pro, what do we see? Those orange dots. Those orange dots, again, pay attention to the stock because it's getting ready to make a big move. Well, it was squeezing for the entire week. What ended up happening yesterday, it finally fired to the upside, and this is where we experienced this big move to the upside, and those contracts increased by almost 100%. And then the same thing over here with Tesla. Again, notice the squeeze that it was in. It continued to hold above the moving averages, therefore that squeeze went into yellow. Yellow went into light blue. Light blue with the red dots, it's more than likely going to fire up. Those red dots fired into black, and then black fired into green. Notice the move that Tesla made after that. So that's going to be how you're going to use the actual TTM Squeeze Pro indicator. But with the Pro edition of the TTM Squeeze, you are also going to get the other indicators like these labels up here, the early in and out, as well as the ready, aim, fire. So the first indicator we're going to talk about other than the TTM Squeeze Pro is going to be the early in and out candles. So with the early in and out candles, basically what they are trying to do is they are trying to predict what is going to happen with the squeeze before it actually happens. So if we're looking at Tesla, we can see that the bars are light blue. And in my opinion, if you find yourself panic selling just because you see a red candle coming in, this can actually help because even though there's a red candle, it could still be this light blue. So that's just something you could mess around with. But looking at the actual early in and out indicator, as we can see these light blues, again, strong buying momentum. It's matching up with the TTM Squeeze Pro down here. We got the green dots. What happened with Tesla continued to push up in price. So basically, once you start to see that dark blue on the actual candles themselves, that's giving you a fair warning that the momentum's starting to die down and to proceed with caution. So as we can see back here, it did a pretty good job with it. As soon as it turned dark blue, what happened with Tesla? It pulled back, made a nice little bull flag, and then immediately light blue, and it continued to push. Now also, when you start to see these green candles, the green candles are basically telling you that the TTM Squeeze Pro is getting ready to fire in one way or the other. That's why you piece it with your moving averages, because Tesla was holding above the moving averages. You had the light blue momentum with the red dots. The early in and out indicator is predicting that Tesla is going to fire to the upside, and these green candles are basically telling you to enter your trade here. So as you can see, this entire time, you had a beautiful chance to add to your Tesla position over the course of several days. What happened? It held above the moving averages the entire time, and then it finally fired to the upside. So looking at Tesla today on the 10-minute time frame, what did it end up doing as the market opened? Light blue continued to push in price. As soon as it got the dark blue on the early in and out indicator, you can see that Tesla pulled back pretty hard. Then it went into the red, again saying strong selling momentum, and then it went into the yellow. Selling momentum's dying down. I meant to say yesterday, my bad. But as we can see, the yellow is coming back up. Then it goes back into dark blue, and it pulls back to the downside. So that's going to be a quick little run through on how to use the early in and out indicator. Again, you want to piece it together with the TTM Squeeze Pro, because then that's going to give you an edge on the market, and it's going to help you understand which way the squeeze is actually going to fire, as well as the momentum of the stock. And then looking down at the ready, aim, fire indicator. So as we can see here, we got all of these squiggly lines, which I will do an entire video on how to use the ready, aim, fire, because that's going to be an extensive topic. But basically what you want to know about it is this middle white line right here is going to be the mean. And when you start seeing sell arrows, so when the arrows are starting to point down, when it's very far away from the mean, again, these lines right here, when you get the down arrow, it's basically giving you a sell signal. And once the lines come back to the mean, that is generally where you want to see the stock. And again, if it's above the moving averages and you start to see the squeeze in the light blue momentum with the red dots, that is giving you a very clear buy signal. So as we can see here, it's starting to generate sell signals. What does Tesla do? It kind of consolidates. If we go back here, same thing. What does it do? Sell signals, pulls back, goes back to the mean, then it starts to push, back to the mean, push, and it's basically a never-ending cycle. So if we go to a recent swing trade that I took on CVS, we can see that we got all of these buy arrows right here 2 weeks before CVS even ended up breaking out. Again, piece it together with the actual TTM Squeeze Pro, orange dots, light blue momentum above the moving averages with the light blue bars on the candle. What's more than likely going to happen? CVS is going to fire up and our contracts are currently up over 100%. So again, you want to pay attention to where these buy signals come in. It could be all the way down here, again, below the mean. The mean is the white line right here. You start getting buy signals down here. This is telling you that it wants to come back to the mean. So we get buy signals here, buy signals here. What happens? It comes back to the mean, gets overextended from the mean, sell signals back to the mean, all the way up here, sell signals all the way back to the mean. So again, I'm going to do an extensive video on how to use the Ready Aim Pro, but that's going to be the basics on how to use it. Again, you piece it together with the actual colors of the candlesticks, as well as the TTM Squeeze Pro itself. So not only that, but you're also going to get these buy and sell signals up here on the actual chart itself. So basically what these buy and sell signals are doing is it's letting you know which way the squeeze is going to fire. So again, if we're looking at CVS over here, well, it's above the moving averages. Yes, we have the dark blue, but it's squeezing. And if the stock continues to hold above the moving averages, the 8 and 21 EMA, that the TTM squeeze will turn into light blue. So the day before the squeeze fired, CVS gave a buy signal. And what ended up happening with CVS? Well, it ended up firing to the upside and it climbed all the way to 90.61. If we look where we entered our swing trade, what do we see? The red up arrow before CVS ever even broke out. So it did this 2 weeks before, again, piecing it together with the light blue momentum with the orange dots, as well as the Ready Aim Fire buy signal. What ended up happening with CVS? It broke to the upside. And then if we're looking at Apple right here, again, it gave the buy signal right here with the red arrow, light blue momentum, red dots. You got the previous buy signal on the Ready Aim Fire way back here, and you get the light blue candlestick. What ended up happening with Apple? It fired to the upside and it continued to push. And this is actually another swing trade that I took way back. So again, a beautiful continuation piecing together all of these indicators. Again, these arrows, they try to predict which way the squeeze is going to fire. And in my experience, they have been very, very accurate. And then finally, you get the squeeze labels up here. So this one right here is basically going to tell you what kind of squeeze it is in. So you get the high compression squeeze, which is going to be the orange dots. You get the mid compression squeeze, which is going to be the red dots, which it's currently in right now. Then you get low compression squeezes like the black and the green dots. So this right here is going to let you know currently what kind of squeeze you are in. Then it's going to let you know the squeeze count, how many of them have fired long, fired short, average squeeze length. Then it's going to let you know the current squeeze. So out of the last however many bars, how many of them have been in a squeeze. So as we can see right here, current squeeze, 8 weeks in a row because we're on the weekly time frame. And then on average, the rising histogram has been 5 bars, average falling histogram 5 bars, average falling histogram 5 bars, average post squeeze run has been 8 bars. Longest post squeeze run has been 17 bars, and then average post squeeze move has been $10.25, and then the biggest post squeeze move has been $24. So what I specifically like on these labels is the average post squeeze move. This is going to be very, very important for us, especially as swing traders, because if CVS were ready to break out to the upside and the average post squeeze move is $10.25, we can use this information to help us make a very educated assumption on where CVS is going to end up going as this squeeze continues to fire. So that's basically what your labels are going to help you do. They are going to give you a lot more market information, and it's going to help you make a highly educated assumption on where the stock is going to continue, as well as piecing this all together with first your buy and sell arrows that it generates, the actual TTM Squeeze Pro itself, the colors of the dots, the momentum that is currently being shown, the ready, aim, fire, again, the buy and sell signals, as well as those early in and out indicators, as well as the early in and out indicator that is going to let you know about the momentum on the actual candlestick itself. So again, if you guys would like to purchase the TTM Squeeze Pro, the link will be down in the description. It will be my affiliate link, so if you guys want to purchase that, feel free to do so. But as always, if you guys could, make sure to click that like and that subscribe button, as well as clicking that bell icon. It would mean the absolute world to me. As always, I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.